I'm Max Darrow, and this is The Minute. VTA's Board of Directors will hold a special closed session meeting with union leaders in the South Bay. A vote on a new contract is on hold until after today's meeting. Both sides also due in court on Wednesday. A judge has temporarily denied the VTA's request for a restraining order to stop the strike. A crash in San Jose left 6 people with serious injuries. This happened on North Jackson Street near the Regional Medical Center early Saturday morning. Investigators believe the crash was caused by a driver in a stolen car. St. Mary's men's basketball team plays in the second round of the NCAA tournament today. 7th-seeded Gales will take on the 2-seed Alabama Crimson Tide. Bama leads the nation in scoring, but St. Mary's does have the 4th-ranked defense in the nation. Tip-off 3:10 in Cleveland. And the Bay Area's only primetime newscasts, weeknights at 8 and 9 p.m. on PIX Plus, 44 Cable 12.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Hundreds of college students moving in, forcing several families out.
You have to be out by the summer. It's very stressful.
Today, we'll introduce you to a Bay Area resident who says she feels blindsided by a new housing plan in the South Bay. Plus, speed cameras up and running in San Francisco. Meet those who say for them, this is personal.
21 years old, wiped out in the prime of his life because someone was distracted, someone wasn't paying attention, and someone was speeding.
And a so-called hoarder house goes up in flames. My neighbors tell us their numerous complaints before the fire fell on deaf ears. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with First Alert weather. Things are really starting to warm up. Meteorologist Zoe Mintz has the forecast.
It is going to be an absolutely gorgeous Sunday fun day to get outside and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the warmer weather, about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than yesterday across a lot of the Bay Area, with 70s returning to our inland locations, mid-70s from our inland areas down into the Santa Clara Valley. We'll be in the mid-60s here in San Francisco, but hey, still warmer than yesterday. You do notice closer to our coastal communities, there is going to be a little bit more of a cooler air mass, as there's going to be that marine layer, that cloud coverage that's going to be holding on tight to our coastal communities and keeping those temperatures just a bit cooler throughout this afternoon. I kind of want to take a closer look here in San Francisco and just show you how quickly those temperatures warm up the second that you get away from the coast and the second that you get away from that marine layer. Coastal communities, if you want to head to Ocean Beach today, it's going to be only about 60 degrees, but it doesn't take long. Head over the Bay Bridge, head over towards the Oakland Hills, and you'll already be in the 70s and then mid-70s the farther east that you go this afternoon, and then only getting warmer into tomorrow, where here in San Francisco, we will be in the mid-70s and upper 70s into Tuesday, before a big cool down heads our way into Wednesday, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler on Wednesday afternoon compared to Tuesday, as this high pressure is not going to be dominating forever. It's 3 days that it really is going to be impacting us. Warming up today, but it's Tuesday and Monday that are going to be the most significant heat days of this heat up that we'll be seeing. High pressure continuing to stay overhead again through Tuesday, and with very calm winds, it is going to be great weather to spend outdoors. It might even be a little bit hot out there, so prepare for the heat over the next couple of days, especially down in San Jose, with those temperatures sitting in the mid to maybe even upper 80s as we step out on Tuesday afternoon. Again, get ready for a big cool down Wednesday and into Thursday as the potential for rain returns. It's not going to be anything too crazy widespread, just some widely scattered activity late Wednesday and into Thursday. And then next weekend, there's more potential for a little bit of rain. So I do kind of want to let you all know it's this weekend that you should get out and enjoy yourself, because these nice and dry and warm conditions are not going to stick around forever. Again, 80s all the way through Tuesday before a big cool down heads our way Wednesday. Even our coastal communities are going to be sitting well above average. Again, it's 80s inland and it's 70s closer to our coast. Beautiful beach weather is going to be on the way as we step out Monday and into Tuesday. So if maybe you've been able to get a cute few vacation days and you've been wondering when to use them, Monday, Tuesday, take the day off, head to the beach and enjoy yourself. Before more cloud coverage and a big cool down heads our way by Wednesday, the chance for rain returns late Wednesday and into Thursday. And then there's more potential for rain as we step out next weekend. A week from today, it's going to feel a lot different than what we're expecting this afternoon. So I highly suggest, again, everybody get out and enjoy a lovely Sunday fun day, although a little bit more cloud coverage and cooler weather hanging on tight closer to the coast.
A Bay Area community college buying up a new property to help students facing sky-high housing costs. But what about the people living there now? Well, that's the question in Cupertino. Foothill De Anza Community College just purchased a big apartment complex on McClellan Road. That's right off Highway 85 near the campus. I spoke to some people living there. Now say they are scrambling to figure out their next steps.
Come here. Come sit.
With pups and kids, Rachel Green envisioned her family living in this Cupertino apartment for at least 2 years.
This was the most affordable cost for our family.
But to her surprise, that plan recently and suddenly changed.
The neighborhood kids informed us of the news.
She learned the property management company of her 94-unit complex on McClellan Road, Prometheus Real Estate Group, has agreed to sell the complex to the Foothill De Anza Community College District, which plans to turn it into student housing. But that means she'll have to move out.
It's very stressful.
And Green says there has been no official correspondence from the property management company. She and her neighbors found out through news reporting.
All the communication we see online is that we have to be out by the summer. So we just need some kind of communication, official communication.
On the other side of the equation, Foothill De Anza Chancellor Lee Lambert says the acquisition, made possible with money from Measure G, a bond measure voters passed 5 years ago, will address a long-time major need for the community college district.
We're right at that precipice of making this happen for our students and community.
He says the district was exploring a different option for student housing, but when this possibility came up,
we wouldn't have to build new. We can go turnkey, almost turnkey in many cases. That's probably going to equate to about 330-ish beds.
If the timeline progresses without any hitches, he says students could be living there this fall.
It's the start of making progress towards addressing the greater need of affordable housing.
Green says she sees and understands the district's need. However, she's concerned about a lack of affordable housing nearby for those who will now have to look for it.
I think the primary concern for most of the people that I've talked to is keeping our kids in the school system.
We reached out to Prometheus to try and get answers, but did not receive a response. But according to a recent presentation by the Community College District, which went into details of the purchase and sale agreement, current tenants in 12-month lease terms will be able to finish their leases. Month-to-month tenants will be given 120 days minimum. The seller will work to help relocate tenants, and the district will provide relocation services and assistance.
I wasn't planning to move for the next 2 years, so in the 2 years I can take the time to save, put money away. Now I'm going to have to dip into money that I don't really have available easily.
Green says she'd like to see more transparency as she and her neighbors navigate their new reality. We asked the Chancellor about what this means for the residents currently living at the apartment complex. Chancellor told us he's not in a place to comment since the property still is in the hands of Prometheus. However, he did say the district does care about people and they will always take a human-centered approach. The state's first ever speed cameras have been deployed in San Francisco, and these cameras are not without controversy. Privacy has been a concern for advocates. The idea behind the 33 cameras is to keep city streets safer. They're getting mixed reviews so far from people we talked to.
Okay, so how do you feel about speeding cameras in San Francisco?
I better be paying attention to what I'm doing. George Orwell is turning over in his grave right now with witnessing what we have going on right now with all the cameras everywhere. Safety is the number one factor, no doubt about it. The privacy issue enters into it with all these cameras going up everywhere.
Despite the concerns you just heard, street safety advocates, they've been pleading for the city to take action for a long time. San Francisco saw 41 traffic deaths throughout 2024. For some people, the issue is personal. Andrea Nakano talked to a man who is so passionate about making speed cameras the new normal, he drove 3 hours to share his story.
Right around 11 o'clock, I got a call. Someone screaming into the phone, your son's been hit, your son's been hit.
Joe Martinez lives in Fresno, but he drives to the Bay Area frequently to share his story. He vividly remembers the moment he learned his son was hit by a driver, going roughly 50 miles per hour over the speed limit.
21 years old, wiped out in the prime of his life because someone was distracted, someone wasn't paying attention, and someone was speeding.
He's been promoting safer streets at every level ever since. He joined Walk SF to push for change, including Assembly Bill 645, which led to these new speed cameras.
But we are impacting lives, we're improving our streets, and we're helping laws get passed in order to save lives. So I really feel like I'm making a difference, and I feel like my pain has purpose.
They either have been installed or will be installed at 33 intersections around the city, areas that have a high concentration of severe injuries or fatal collisions.
These cameras have seen serious results in other cities. So in some locations, speed has dropped down by 94%. So we have great hope that this is really going to change the tide of our crashes and our fatalities.
It's working in places like New York.
Mayor Daniel Lurie says this is just part of his comprehensive plan to improve public safety.
Traffic safety is public safety, and anything that can slow down cars that are speeding is a positive for our city.
For the first 60 days, speeders will get a warning. After that, the fine will depend on how fast you're caught going and your financial situation. Public assistance to pay will be available for those that qualify. Martinez, though, says this shouldn't be looked at as punishment, but as prevention.
When I see the speeding drivers, I get mad, I get very emotional. I'm fighting back all the tears because I'm thinking, what if that driver had not been distracted? What if they had just slowed down? It's possible my kid could have at least, he could have survived.
Meantime, in the South Bay, San Jose also did get approval for 33 speed cameras. City officials tell us they are still in the process of choosing a vendor. Speed cameras are also coming to Oakland. The city expects 18 of them to be set up by the fall or the winter time. Still ahead on CBS News Bay Area on this Sunday. Fire tears through a home that's being called a hoarder house. You'll hear from neighbors who say the conditions at that home threatened theirs.
I understand it's personal property, especially if you own it, but at the same time, there is a level of responsibility that you have to your neighborhood.
Plus, we'll introduce you to the filmmaker shining a spotlight on the real-life impact of the Bay Area's most persistent problems.
We haven't built enough homes for all the people that want to live here, which is why we have so many people living on the streets.
And an old business turning to new tech. How a North Bay oyster farm impressed even Google with the way they decided to adopt AI.
The warm-up begins today. Temperatures all across the Bay Area going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, continuing to warm up into tomorrow, Monday, likely our first 80-degree day of the year across many of our inland locations. However, closer to our coastal communities, even they are going to be warming up into the low 70s Monday and into Tuesday with plenty of sunshine. Today, there is going to be a little bit more cloud coverage, that marine layer holding on tight to the coast, so it is going to keep their temperatures a bit cooler, but overall above average temperatures sticking around through Tuesday before a cool down and the potential for a little bit of rain heads our way late Wednesday and into Thursday.
All of us have a thing or two that seems impossible to throw away. But neighbors in San Francisco's Richmond district saw how it could get out of hand in a very dangerous way. Take a look at this. Fire gutted a home this month, which firefighters said had hoarder conditions. Kevin Coe spoke with neighbors who say they tried reporting their safety concerns before it was too late.
Gianna Cocci says it was about 3:30 in the morning.
I woke up and I saw orange in the sky.
She saw this home on 22nd Avenue in flames and called 911. SFFD says everyone made it out okay, but once the fire was out, it was evident there was another problem.
There was trash, debris, furniture. It was blocking the doors, and some of it was so high up, it was to the same level as the window, making it dangerous for anyone in the house.
Neighbors tell us they've known this for months, reporting their concerns through several city departments, including SFFD and APS. One of those neighbors took this photo just after the fire in her child's bedroom which sits right by the Hoarder home. Gianna didn't make a report herself, but has been in touch with her concerned neighbors.
The last place I was at, I ended up getting a bunch of mice because my upstairs neighbor was a hoarder. So it's definitely an issue. You know, it's a tough one. A lot of times that's based in mental illness. I understand it's personal property, especially if you own it, but at the same time, because all of our houses are, you know, half an inch to touching each other, there is a level of responsibility that you have to your neighborhood.
Menchaca understands the frustrations, but says reporting is key, even if it feels like it's not going anywhere.
When we have a paper trail, we're able to cite those things and build up a case. It's when people go, I don't want to file something, I don't want to follow up, we're going to lose that momentum. So you have to remain vigilant in reporting.
We were unable to make contact with the homeowner, but SFFD says a report may be sent to the city attorney citing safety hazards. But neighbors like Gianna believe a citation alone can actually clutter progress.
This can happen to anybody. So, you know, I'm very, very lucky I woke up late, but, you know, if there's a clearer pathway than just a citation, if there's more follow-up, if there's other steps we can take, make it clear, make it accessible, and, you know, the follow-through, I think, is the biggest portion of that.
If you live in San Francisco and you're concerned about a fire hazard in your neighborhood, you can file a report to 311 or report online on the fire department's website. New efforts to address San Francisco's homeless crisis. Mayor Daniel Lurie unveiling his year-long plan to tackle the issue. The so-called Breaking the Cycle plan calls for changes to city street outreach teams and aims to add 1,500 shelter beds within 6 months. There's also an emphasis on accountability, with plans to review how the city is spending money on homeless programs.
We are spending over $1 billion on these issues, and it is why we have to take a fine-tooth comb and look at every dollar that we spend, and that's what we're going to do. It's not a matter of resources, it's a matter of how we're spending our dollars. We're going to get more effective and efficient.
The mayor kicked off the directive during the grand opening of Compass Family Services on Market Street, which will have 130 new shelter beds. The Coalition on Homelessness opposes the order, saying it doesn't address the root causes of homelessness and it does not create affordable housing. A new documentary takes an in-depth look at the housing crisis here in the Bay Area. Our Lorene Ayoub spoke with one family featured in that film to learn about their struggle and the road to permanent housing.
These days, Carlos Rojas is grateful for the simple things. After an injury and relationship separation caused him to live on the streets of San Francisco, he says shelter and safety have become a true luxury.
I got shot and I wasn't able to work no more, so financially I couldn't afford to just move into anywhere. I didn't have no money saved up, nothing like that, so I had to find out what resources would help me the best.
Carlos now values preparing meals indoors, a simple activity he once took for granted. While unhoused, he faced struggles navigating the bureaucracy for shelter. But one organization made a difference.
Compass Families Program. They helped me out the most.
Compass helped Carlos secure supportive housing for his family in Soma. His son Andres says he's relieved they're no longer living in limbo.
I felt like, to me, like we got like more of a life in our hands than being out there, and it's a little more sketchy. Being inside of a household feels kind of better.
Now when they do go outside, it's to enjoy activities like basketball in the Mission, the neighborhood Carlos grew up in. Carlos's story is featured in the documentary Fault Lines, co-directed by Nate Hodeling. The film explores California's housing crisis.
Here in California, we have 12% of the country's population, but 50% of its unhoused population. And if you go into the hood of that, you'll find that it really is a supply and demand issue. You know, we haven't built enough homes for all the people that want to live here, which is why we have so many people living on the streets and why we're losing population in the state of California.
Carlos hopes his story will humanize the unhoused community in the Bay and beyond. Gratitude has become his motto.
Very grateful for it. Very grateful to have this apartment.
The kind of perspective that keeps him and his family shooting for more.
Still ahead, it is tough work managing one of the Bay Area's most famous oyster farms. How they turned to AI for help in a way that got Google's attention.
So we were like, wow, sure. Super Bowl? Oh yeah.
It has been a lovely weekend all across the Bay Area, and it's only getting warmer and warmer from here as high pressure is building directly overhead. It's deflecting that stream of moisture from the jet stream all the way up and away from us here in the Bay Area. It's impacting the Pacific Northwest, but again, high pressure. This is the ridge that's building overhead. That's going to keep our temperatures well above average all across California, at least through Tuesday of next week. So there is quite a lot of warm weather to get through over the next several days. So I hope everybody can get outside and enjoy themselves. This afternoon, it is going to be very warm out there. Our high temperatures are going to be sitting in the 70s across our inland locations. Closer to the coast, like I said, you are going to be seeing a bit more of that cloud coverage, that marine layer holding on tight, and that's going to keep your temperatures just a bit cooler tomorrow afternoon, or this afternoon. But tomorrow afternoon, this is what I want everybody to look forward to. That marine layer is not going to be holding on tight, and even our coastal communities are going to be sitting in the 70s. San Francisco, mid to upper 70s. Inland areas going to be in the 80s. Likely the first 80-degree day of the year for many locations. I'll let you know just how long these warm temperatures will stick around coming up in my full forecast.
With the rise of artificial intelligence, we've seen strides in the technology out of Silicon Valley, but we're not just using AI in Silicon Valley either. Our Brian Hackney takes us to the North Bay, where the tech is being used to help raise oysters.
At Hog Island Oyster Company up in Marshall, California.
Delicious.
They really do sell seashells down by the seashore.
It is so good.
Now I'm just going to turn the knife.
Actually, they sell the oysters inside.
Really scrape against that shell, and that's it. It's good to go.
They've had the operation for more than 40 years, and they're no longer just scraping by.
I'm Marlon. I'm your host and tour guide today. We're also going to serve you some shucked oysters.
Marlon McLaughlin is giving one of the 2,000 annual tours here.
I really do feel that the heart and soul of the company is here at the farm and right out there on the bay.
And while Tomales Bay may be their heart and soul, the bread and butter is at their ferry building outlet.
It is the best recipe.
And on the plates of the Bay Area's best restaurants.
Kumamoto, everybody loves those, yeah.
And if it seems just that easy, it is not.
There are 10 million oysters of various ages out on the water right now that we want to make sure we're keeping track of them and how they're doing, and mortality rates of this group versus that.
CEO John Finger has come a long way from his first 5 acres on Tomales Bay, with the operation now 30 times bigger. He adopted Google's Gemini AI to manage his complicated spreadsheets.
So we collect a lot of data. Having it in these spreadsheets that we can then even ask Gemini the question, can you tell me how many extra smalls we sold in January of last year? And that's extremely time consuming for a person to do that.
Turns out Google was impressed with how their software was used in the oyster biz. Did you just get a call one day and they said, "Hi, it's Google"?
Yeah, without a lot of notice.
And before you know it,
my passion is growing great oysters.
Hog Island Oyster had an ad courtesy of Google on the Super Bowl broadcast.
They reached out and said, yeah, we whittled it down over I don't know how many companies in each state, and we wanted to do this with you. So we were like, wow, sure. Super Bowl? Oh yeah.
All right, just about ready to hit the dining table.
Google highlighted 50 small businesses, one from each state.
It is the best recipe.
To highlight their use of AI.
A tool like this can allow our people to spend more time with other people instead of spending time on a computer crunching numbers.
This is a beautiful thing we're doing, and we're proud of what we do.
Google went hog wild on the company's use of their software.
Delicious.
But artificial intelligence will never replace the real people.
We're enjoying oysters right at the place they're coming out of the water.
At Hog Island.
AI is like, it's not going to take, we're not going to have it take over the world or take over the company. We're still a very people-focused company.
I've seen somebody eat over 100 in one sitting.
Wow. But I actually get to see people enjoy it. A lot of farmers don't actually get to see people sit down and go, wow, that's the best oyster I've ever had. So I love where I work. I get to see beautiful places. So I feel lucky.
Hog Island harvests and sells more than 5 million oysters and clams a year. Still ahead in our next half hour on CBS News Bay Area. What used to be a vacant lot filled with homeless encampments is now a place for people to find a fresh start.
It's scary to try something new.
When we come back, we'll take you inside the new complex that's giving people a path off the streets and into a permanent home. Plus, we'll meet a Bay Area restaurant owner serving burgers for a bargain. Why he says his $2 price tag isn't budging.
Over 1,000 tickets a day, probably 1,600 burgers and double cheeseburgers a day.
This place is so convenient and cheap.
I'm Max Darrow, and this is The Minute. One person was hospitalized after a house fire in Oakland. It happened on Clara Street near Eads Avenue Saturday afternoon. Firefighters say the injured person had to be rescued by a roommate. Fire did not damage any other buildings nearby. The VTA's board of directors will hold a special closed session meeting with union leaders in the South Bay. A vote on a new contract is on hold after today's meeting. Both sides are also due in court on Wednesday. A judge has temporarily denied the VTA's request for a restraining order to stop the 2-week strike. EV charger company Revel is set to open its first charging station in San Francisco tomorrow. Known for its expansion in New York City, the company will also announce new fast charging projects around the Bay Area, including South City, San Jose, and in Oakland. The Bay Area's only primetime newscasts, weeknights at 8 and 9 p.m. on KPIX Plus, 44 Cable 12.
It is going to be an absolutely gorgeous Sunday fun day to get outside and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the warmer weather, about 5 to 10 degrees, warmer than yesterday across a lot of the Bay Area, with 70s returning to our inland locations, mid-70s from our inland areas down into the Santa Clara Valley. We'll be in the mid-60s here in San Francisco, but hey, still warmer than yesterday. You do notice closer to our coastal communities, there is going to be a little bit more of a cooler air mass, as there's going to be that marine layer, that cloud coverage that's going to be holding on tight to our coastal communities and keeping those temperatures just a bit cooler throughout this afternoon. I kind of want to take a closer look here in San Francisco and just show you how quickly those temperatures warm up the second that you get away from the coast and the second that you get away from that marine layer. Coastal communities, if you want to head to Ocean Beach today, it's going to be only about 60 degrees, but it doesn't take long. Head over the Bay Bridge, head over towards the Oakland Hills, and you'll already be in the 70s and then mid-70s the farther east that you go this afternoon, and then only getting warmer into tomorrow, where here in San Francisco, we will be in the mid-70s and upper 70s into Tuesday, before a big cool down heads our way into Wednesday, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler on Wednesday afternoon compared to Tuesday, as this high pressure is not going to be dominating forever. It's 3 days that it really is going to be impacting us, warming up today, but it's Tuesday and Monday that are going to be the most significant heat days of this heat up that we'll be seeing. High pressure continuing to stay overhead again through Tuesday, and with very calm winds, it is going to be great weather to spend outdoors. It might even be a little bit hot out there, so prepare for the heat over the next couple of days, especially down in San Jose, with those temperatures sitting in the mid to maybe even upper 80s as we step out on Tuesday afternoon. Again, get ready for a big cool down Wednesday and into Thursday as the potential for rain returns. It's not going to be anything too crazy widespread, just some widely scattered activity late Wednesday and into Thursday. And then next weekend, there's more potential for a little bit of rain. So I do kind of want to let you all know it's this weekend that you should get out and enjoy yourself, because these nice and dry and warm conditions are not going to stick around forever. Again, 80s all the way through Tuesday before a big cool down heads our way Wednesday. Even our coastal communities are going to be sitting well above average. Again, it's 80s inland and it's 70s closer to our coast. Beautiful beach weather is going to be on the way as we step out Monday and into Tuesday. So if maybe you've been able to had a cute few vacation days and you've been wondering when to use them, Monday, Tuesday, take the day off, head to the beach and enjoy yourself. Before more cloud coverage and a big cool down heads our way, by Wednesday, the chance for rain returns late Wednesday and into Thursday. And then there's more potential for rain as we step out next weekend. A week from today, it's going to feel a lot different than what we're expecting this afternoon. So I highly suggest, again, everybody get out and enjoy a lovely Sunday fun day, although a little bit more cloud coverage and cooler weather hanging on tight closer to the coast.
What used to be a dirt lot in San Jose full of encampments is now a new place for people to find a fresh start. The 3-story modular housing project is located at Branham Lane near Monterey Boulevard in the south side of the city. It will house more than 200 people who had once been living on the streets. Arlen Ramirez went along with its very first residents as they got to explore their new home built on the same site many of them once camped out.
For the first time in a decade, Robert and Charlotte are moving indoors.
I like it.
And this is their new apartment in a modular, quick-build community for singles and families, just steps from the Branham Road parking lot where they lived in a van.
Heats up really fast. I like this thing.
And their new place has all the modern comforts of home: kitchen, bath, privacy, security, plus storage.
And you got all this room, the water.
Not to mention showers and running water.
It's different. It's different, but it's okay. I get. You can come and go as you please, you know, and I mean, it's a lot better than being out in the rain here.
I'm glad we have a bathroom. You know, it's rough out there.
They are some of the first clients to get into San Jose's newest and largest interim housing community. It's 3 stories of stacked, prefabricated units that can house over 200 people. And what's really new is that the units can be configured to allow multi-generational families to live together. Mayor Matt Mahan says the site has gone from sore spot to bright spot.
I just can't believe this transformation. I mean, again, this was a site of frustration, of anger, of fear, of hopelessness, frankly. I spoke to a lot of the folks living in tents who said, I don't know where to go. You can abate me, but where am I going to go? Just down the railroad tracks, right? And that's what's so powerful about this model.
The project is funded by a $51 million grant from California's Home Key program and additional money in land from San Jose and Santa Clara County. It's run by Life Moves and includes on-site programs to help clients break away from homelessness.
Coming indoors is not the end of the story. Our clients are engaging in a number of programs. It could be with our employment specialists, it could be with our housing specialists. Oftentimes, you know, it may be with medical professionals, and sometimes there is, you know, mental health or substance use that might need to be addressed. And so our hope is that when our clients leave here, they're not only exiting to permanent housing, but they're exiting healthier, happier, and, you know, with a plan for the future.
It's all still a little new for Robert and Charlotte, who have recently been through trauma. Robert suffered a stroke and heart attack last year.
Same time.
Same time.
Oh, wow. Stressed living.
And although they had a front row seat to the housing being built, Charlotte says she almost didn't want to come indoors.
It's scary to try something new. I didn't get out of the van for 6 months. And I finally got out of the van to come here.
Charlotte is recovering from back surgery and hopes to be up and around any day now. They've lived through the hard times, which they hope are now permanently in the past.
The city is also working on opening tiny home sites to create more transitional housing for its more than 6,000 homeless residents. PG&E is asking for yet another rate hike. The utility says it's needed because of the high risk of doing business in California with extreme weather, inflation, and supply chain concerns. If approved, customers could see their bills increase by about $5.50 per month. It wouldn't go into effect until January at the earliest. California's Public Utilities Commission is expected to review the request in the coming weeks. Over the past 3 years, PG&E customers have seen their bills jump 56%. The latest hike took effect this month, raising rates by about $3 on average. Californians overall have the second highest electricity bills in the country. But customers will see some relief next month thanks to California's climate credit program. Electric-only customers will receive a credit of just over $58. For gas-only customers, it's about $67. But hey, if you pay for both, you'll get $125. At a time when prices everywhere seem to be going up, a burger joint in San Jose is still holding up to its promise of selling affordable burgers by only charging $1.99. The owner of Campus Burgers tells our Suji Nam why he's not planning on raising that price anytime soon.
Jim Angelopoulos says simplicity is key. A simple burger with a simple price. It's not often you can get a non-fast food burger for less than $5. And here at Campus Burgers, a hamburger will cost you $1.99.
We serve people within literally 2 minutes, and that's our goal.
Jim opened his burger shop, Campus Burgers, in San Jose about 7 months ago.
Over 1,000 tickets a day, probably 1,600 burgers and double cheeseburgers a day.
Which means he serves 350 pounds of meat every day, along with 600 pounds of potatoes daily for fries. But in a time of increasing living costs, Jim says his eyes have been on one goal.
Order 53.
To serve fresh burgers the affordable way. He spends about $30,000 on meat patties every month and is concerned that inflation will impact his future costs.
Although the meat has gone up a little bit, it's still, that's my biggest concern is the meat prices in order to keep that $1.99 price.
Jim adds that while his potatoes and onions are sourced locally, their packaging, like the wrappers and to-go bags sourced from China, could go up. But despite this all,
no, I will not raise prices.
Jim says while his margins are low, he is profitable and will continue to keep his mission of serving affordability.
Thank you very much.
Something that William Thompson, a now regular customer, appreciates.
I like cooking a lot at home, but because this place is so convenient and cheap, it makes it a lot easier to come in and check it out. Overall, everyone's dealing with the same things inflation-wise, from grocery to gas prices, and it's just something we got to deal with.
And Jim, who has been in the food service industry for years, says he came up with this business model after seeing how pricey many dishes on a restaurant menu can be.
My goal is to always keep that burger as long as I can for $1.99.
And he hopes he can share his passion with the community, one hamburger at a time.
I know what I'm having for my next meal. Coming up next, equipping young women with the tools to work in the construction industry. We are touring the special program in the East Bay.
And I really wanted to create a space where they felt like fully embodied to build all the amazing ideas that they had.
These children are getting their very first guitar lesson, how an East Bay woman is striking a chord with at-risk kids in an anti-violence program.
The warm-up begins today. Temperatures all across the Bay Area going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, continuing to warm up into tomorrow, Monday, likely our first 80-degree day of the year across many of our inland locations. However, closer to our coastal communities, even they are going to be warming up into the low 70s Monday and into Tuesday with plenty of sunshine. Today, there is going to be a little bit more cloud coverage, that marine layer holding on tight to the coast, so it is going to keep their temperatures a bit cooler, but overall above average temperatures sticking around through Tuesday before a cool down and the potential for a little bit of rain heads our way late Wednesday and into Thursday.
The U.S. is facing a major housing shortage, and one big factor is there just aren't enough construction workers to keep up with the demand. And this is one of the reasons why. In the world of construction, only 1 million women work in the sector nationwide, making up 11% of the industry, less than 5% in skilled trade jobs. But in the city of Berkeley, there's a tiny garage hoping to help change that gender disparity. Orion Yamamoto takes us inside the girls' garage.
Working with a 2x4 and a miter saw comes quite natural for Emily Piloton Lamb.
I've been building things since I was a kid.
Where today, she builds more than just structures. She builds the confidence of young women through her nonprofit.
Girls Garage started in 2013, and I really wanted to create a space where they felt like fully embodied to build all the amazing ideas that they had.
That building begins every day after school inside the Girls Garage shop room, where you'll find them installing hardware, slicing down pieces of plywood,
and then just go really, really slow,
or learning the art of the bandsaw. Talia Rosen, she found concentration is the key to making the perfect cut.
I go into like a zone and that's all I can think about.
Talia, a senior at Berkeley High School,
This is up.
first started at Girls Garage when she was just a shy 9-year-old in the 3rd grade. She says working with her hands surrounded by other girls,
Talia did great.
while being mentored by actual women builders, architects, and contractors has helped her grow.
We're all just such an amazing community and can bond together by being strong and by like working together to create something collectively.
Together, they create real construction projects, from a giant chicken coop, an outdoor sauna, and a wooden dome playground, donating their time and skills all for free.
We do kind of operate like a general contractor. Our staff is all female, non-binary. We have an average of 10 years of experience, each of us. Collectively, we have like over 100 years of experience.
During the past 12 years, that experience has taught more than 1,000 students, with 250 to 350 a year making their way through the Girls Garage.
1, 2,
where Emily says the experience is more than just empowering.
I don't love the word empowerment because I feel like it implies we're giving power to people that didn't already have it. And the students that come here are already quite powerful. And all we're doing is sort of removing the boundaries for them to exercise their power to the nth degree.
Building incredible things by giving teen girls the tools
Look at this.
to become extraordinary young women.
According to Emily, of the 1,000 girls who have gone through Girls Garage, more than half have gone on to careers in engineering, architecture, and the trades industry. Coming up, they want kids to have guitars, not guns. Meet the East Bay woman using music to steer kids away from violence.
We want to help these children. We want to give them something fun to do, encouraging to do.
It has been a lovely weekend all across the Bay Area, and it's only getting warmer and warmer from here as high pressure is building directly overhead. It's deflecting that stream of moisture from the jet stream all the way up and away from us here in the Bay Area. It's impacting the Pacific Northwest, but again, high pressure. This is the ridge that's building overhead. That's going to keep our temperatures well above average all across California, at least through Tuesday of next week. So there is quite a lot of warm weather to get through over the next several days. So I hope everybody can get outside and enjoy themselves. This afternoon, it is going to be very warm out there. Our high temperatures are going to be sitting in the 70s across our inland locations. Closer to the coast, like I said, you are going to be seeing a bit more of that cloud coverage, that marine layer holding on tight, and that's going to keep your temperatures just a bit cooler tomorrow afternoon, or this afternoon. But tomorrow afternoon, this is what I want everybody to look forward to. That marine layer is not going to be holding on tight, and even our coastal communities are going to be sitting in the 70s. San Francisco, mid to upper 70s. Inland areas going to be in the 80s. Likely the first 80-degree day of the year for many locations. I'll let you know just how long these warm temperatures will stick around coming up in my full forecast.
A Contra Costa County woman brings the gift of music to foster and at-risk children every week, providing benefits from self-expression and confidence to healing from trauma. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner, Barbara Gorin, a professional musician who wants children's lives to reverberate with the same joy of music that she's known since childhood.
When she's not performing with her fiancé as part of the Breed Loves acoustic duo, Barbara Gorin finds her heartbeat among children.
They're a whole new crop of rock stars, right? There are all these kids have never played guitar before, most likely. Thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate it.
At the San Pablo Library, Barbara and her volunteers unwrap musical equipment like brand new guitars bought at discount by fundraising dollars or donated.
You guys are gonna hold the guitar with your left hand on the neck.
Barbara leads free guitar lessons through Guitars Not Guns. The Colorado-based nonprofit uses music to divert 8 to 18-year-old foster and at-risk children away from gangs and violence.
We want to help these children. We want to give them something fun to do, encouraging to do. You gotta really push down hard.
Barbara got tuned in to volunteering for Guitars Not Guns after retiring from 30 years' work at a law firm. She's led the Contra Costa County chapter and served on the national board for more than 10 years, helping kids explore the magic of music. Cynthia Quatso enrolled her 8-year-old son, Lucas Roman.
I'm hoping for him to learn to play a song and, be good.
I like to ask questions a lot because, I just want to keep knowing. And then I also play trumpet, and I'm pretty good.
Don't let the guitar pick take over you. You're in control of the guitar pick.
More than 60 Contra Costa County children took the 8-lesson series last year, mostly at public libraries. Graduating students gain confidence and showcase their music skills in a concert, and they get to keep the guitar. For Lucas, the lessons strike a new chord and a new callus.
Pretty good. I feel like I'm learning more.
And they're learning fast.
That's me again, singing sweet songs.
By the end of the first class, they're strumming along with Barbara and teachers like longtime volunteer Stephen Kennedy.
She cares so much about the kids, and she cares so much about seeing that they have a music education. We're trying to change violence one kid at a time.
Music means life to me. It's everything that I could not imagine my life without music.
So for giving at-risk and foster children a positive place to learn and grow through Guitars Not Guns, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Barbara Gorin.
Barbara also helped start the Sonoma County chapter. Guitars Not Guns is a national organization serving thousands of students, founded by the late Ray Nelson back in 2000. Ray and his wife, Louise, ran it from San Jose, then from Colorado, when they moved there in 2020. Meanwhile, Barbara says they need more volunteers in East Contra Costa County. And you can nominate a local hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award. Just head to our website, kpix.com/icon. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Max Darrow. We'll be right back with your first alert forecast at today's top stories.